I analyzed 15 of the most famous bad guys in film and TV. Gangsters, killers, masterminds, monsters. They're all terrifying in different ways. But the shocking part? Beneath the surface, they share the same blueprint. And once you see the pattern, you'll never look at villains the same way again. Let's break it down. The first thing that stood out: magnetism. Every great villain pulls you in, even when you know you should look away. Think about it. How many villains do you secretly enjoy watching more than the hero? That's not an accident. It's their confidence, their swagger, the way they control a room. Whether it's a crime boss pouring a drink with calm authority or a manipulator who talks circles around the protagonist, their charm is a weapon. Audiences remember villains not just for their evil acts, but for their presence. Without that magnetism, a villain is forgettable. With it, they become unforgettable. Here's the thing about most great villains. They don't think they're villains at all. They operate by a twisted code of ethics. The mob boss says it's about family. The assassin says it's about honor. The revolutionary says it's about justice. From their point of view, their actions are justified, and that's what makes them chilling. They believe their crimes make sense. We may disagree, but when a villain has conviction, it feels real. A villain who kills for no reason can work in horror, but the villains that stick with us, they're the ones who believe they're right. The third trait is fear. Every one of these 15 villains uses it as a tool. Sometimes it's physical fear, violence, blood, the raw threat of power. But often it's psychological. The quiet pause before they act, the way they leave others guessing, the way people lower their voices when they say their name. Great villains don't need to scream to be scary. They just need you to imagine what they might do. That lingering dread, that's where their power lives. You might think villains succeed because they're stronger than the hero, but strength is rarely what makes them terrifying. The truth is, intelligence is the villain's real weapon. They plan, they manipulate, they make the hero dance to their tune without even realizing it. A villain can be physically weak, but if they're clever, if they're 5 steps ahead, they're unstoppable. Brains beat brawn every time, and the villains we remember most, they're the ones who outsmart everyone else in the room. This one's fascinating. Villains and heroes are often reflections of each other. Strip away the costumes and the circumstances, and the villain could have been the hero, and the hero could have been the villain. They're two sides of the same coin. The best villains expose the hero's flaws. They force the hero to face what they could become if they made one wrong choice. Without the villain, the hero has no test. Without the hero, the villain has no contrast. They define each other, like light and shadow. And finally, every great villain has something unforgettable. One trait that lingers in your mind long after the story ends. It could be a voice, a scar, a laugh, a signature weapon, even just one iconic line. Whatever it is, it burns into your memory. Think about it. You might forget the exact details of the plot, but you'll always remember that look, that sound, that moment. It's the reason these 15 villains remain iconic. They don't just tell a story. They leave a scar on pop culture. So after analyzing 15 of the most notorious bad guys, here's what I found. They're magnetic. They believe in a twisted moral code. They wield fear like a weapon. They rely on intelligence over brute force. They reflect the hero like a dark mirror. And they always have that one unforgettable trait. That's the blueprint of evil. and that's why we can't stop watching them. But here's the real question. Which villain lives rent-free in your head? Let me know in the comments. Hannibal Lecter. Gus Fring. Cersei Lannister. Thanos. Killmonger. Hans Landa. Anton Chigurh. Nurse Ratched. Michael Myers. Kaiser Soze. Moriarty. Magneto. Kingpin. Tom Ripley. Annie Wilkes. Jigsaw. Norman Bates. Like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into villains, heroes, and the stories that define them. Because when it comes to storytelling, the bad guys always steal the spotlight.